on YouTube. And maybe what I can do is stand, somewhere over here and then see if it's like it's
Mhm.
right.
So the mic we want is on this
Okay. That would be so then this one is
one. Yeah. Yeah. Test that. Okay, I'm gonna switch cameras. We'll see what happens. Because it picked up this.
testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So it goes with whatever camera it's switched to. We only hear that when we're on. So maybe we should just go with just that.
For streaming.
streaming,
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
Because then, it'll get the speaker wearing this, but it'll also get this for anyone else speaking in the room.
Okay.
But we don't want, anytime we switch to this camera, to cut this mic.
Okay. So we won't switch at all.
Yeah, or you could even just disconnect. I want to be safe.
Yep.
told him, I was like, boy, I got a class and I'm teaching. And he goes, don't worry, you're not gonna notice I'm there. And I just didn't respond.
We're ready.
Should I use the handheld mic?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started.
I made my mom do it once when she came and was able to.
Starting great.
And I was like, literally, because I know you didn't Yeah. Yeah.
And the chopstick.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Hello, thanks for coming. I don't think it's going to project. It's just for the recording and the.
Oh, we thought it would connect to a speaker.
Green light. Unless that's not. So I chose number 2. All right, good morning. There we go. And hopefully the folks online can still hear us and we're getting good tape in the audio recording. Yeah, great. Well, thank you all for coming. I'm Chris Alvarez Fox. This is CreativeMornings Phoenix. Monthly breakfast meal series that happens every month all around the world in amazing cities. Let me take you, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Let me take you through the agenda for today. Pretty straightforward, is what we usually do. We're going to have this little intro, and then some thank yous, of course, if necessary. The main talk is coming up. It's a Q&A to follow. And we're going to have our 30-second spotlights, which is kind of our live classifieds where we talk about community things. Coming up around town, just a few events. look out for. And then at the end, just before we dismiss you all, we'll take a group photo together. That's fun. Okay? So, like I mentioned, Creative Mornings is a global project. What that happens in 252, I think that should actually be 255 cities around the world in 70 countries. And it's filmed and it goes back 16 years or so, at least. So there are tens of thousands of videos online about sessions all over the world, multiple languages. Check out the site and get completely lost in everything that's happening all over. This is a recent development where the Las Vegas chapter is back. So chapters, they kind of come and go. Believe it or not, San Francisco is recently revived. You said, wow, San Francisco was out for a while? Yeah, they're back. So if you're in Las Vegas, check them out, see if they have an event. And Santa Fe also has a chapter, but Albuquerque does not. So if you're in that region, Tucson has a chapter. Check out what else is going on and spread the love. First, let's give some thanks to our global sponsor, Adobe. All right, so show of hands, who uses Adobe products, tools, services on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? When you have to. Who here gets stuck in 6 to 7 hours of Microsoft Teams calls? No, not 6 to 7. That was the old one. So we thank Adobe for sponsoring Creative Mornings at a global level, keeping us available to use the website, to have some of these tools at our service, and for doing webinar series and other training that's on the Creative Mornings blog. So check that out if you haven't seen it in a while. The Level Up series. This is actually a showcase of last month where they did, or that was from May, where they did release day. So there's kind of a curation of all these projects that happen all over the world. And so that was partially Adobe joints. They helped us with that. And there is a survey that Adobe likes to give out, which helps learn about who's part of Creative Mornings. So if you have a moment, you can take that survey. You can photograph it now, or we can put it in the wrap-up email as well. Okay. Level Up, I always mention this. This is the video series on the Creative Mornings website that is training or webinars about a different topic, mainly related to freelance and creative art entrepreneurship. And so there's a million things up there. There was a training session on Adobe Express, which a lot of us are curious about if we're not using it already. There's things about billing, things about client management, not a lot of hard technical stuff, but a lot of the business and the kind of making it as a creative entrepreneur. So check that out on the website as well. I'm going to put a link. And then moving on, thank you to our local sponsor. So we have an ongoing local sponsor, AIGA Arizona, Professional Society for Design, and they help us month after month with our breakfast and our coffee. And then this month in particular, we have SNF Designs, who is thanks to Stephanie, who's over there. Do you acknowledge Stephanie? Thank you. Yeah, for helping us come to this venue and have a great breakfast and coffee spread. And if you haven't gotten your plate or your second plate, please step up even during the show here. Make sure you taste everything, sample everything, and enjoy the feast on offer. It's really nice to have this spread and this opportunity. So thank you to our sponsors here. And then thank you to our host venue, the Newton. Yeah, we've been here before 2 or 3 times. We love coming back to this space, right? I think the table format is really great for this event. It gets people chatting, gets people to sit with someone they don't know. We've got amazing food, and then after the event, the bookstore is open, and we have 2 cafes / restaurants. Like, this is a great space to come, and so we're very appreciative. Do you want to say anything about the space? Lauren, right? Or Laura? Laura. Just one of them.
I'm Laura. I'm the new Newton events coordinator. So the Newton is the whole building. It's a repurposed space from the old Future restaurant. If you grew up in Phoenix, you might remember it. So we are part of changing hands and changing hands for us. But the Newton, you can rent out these amazing spaces. We have the 2 meeting rooms in this room. We also have workshops, almost like everything. So if you want to check out our website, there's so many events coming up, great events. I also get to create workshops. So if you have an idea or you know someone that wants to teach a workshop, please reach out to me. I'd love to. So thanks all for being here.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. And of course, this is a volunteer organization, so we want to thank volunteers of our particular chapter. And that's some of us. Let's get updated. So thank you to everyone from our volunteer team. We're going to go through the videos. We've got a couple of volunteers. So, Claudia is not here today. We have Daniel as a photographer, and I swear I have a file of 2 years before we left. Daniel's photo, and that is here rejoining. That was a volunteer like 5 years ago. And years ago, in the earlier iteration of the chapter, and he's come back to the fold to help us out from a videography point of view. And he's brought some gear. I mean, look at this. Hopefully, I'll tell you what we look nice. And maybe you. So if you want to get involved with us, we definitely can use additional help. And I highlight every month to kind of change this, in particular things we're looking for. So this month, now we got Daniel, the great photographer, traveling all the way from Maricopa. It's nice when we have multiple people to call on, so we don't get in this pinch of like, oh my God, we need a photo, we have no one on video, we have no one on. Those types of things are really helpful. The newsletters, I've mentioned this before. I always write these and publish them when they need to go out. So if you have any type of Zen writing skills, if you enjoy witticism, if you know about tracking and subject lines and that sort of thing, absolutely. Let's put our heads together. You're not alone. Put our heads together, okay? Come talk to us if you're interested in volunteering. And we have a sign-up sheet, a volunteer interest sheet. Heidi has it over there at the registration desk, and I think there's another one by the water over there. So if you want to leave us your name and email, what aspect we're interested in, that's another way to do it. Or you can just reply to any of the emails you get, and that will come to the chapter, Phoenix@CreativeMornings.com. Phoenix@CreativeMornings.com, or just grab one of us, and we'll make sure you get it down. Okay, so we have this thing called the Creative Mornings Manifesto, and this is sort of a reminder of how this all came together and why we're here. I'd like to have someone from our audience, someone from our community, read the manifesto, so you don't just have to hear me. I want to bring up Charlotte to read it, and I'm going to bring it up on my phone as well. Okay, so there it is on the phone. Now, and you don't have to say it together, but it's going to be up on screen.
Everyone is creative. Creative life requires bravery and confidence. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving. We believe that face-to-face connections and that from others that lives. We bring together people who are driven by passion and that's confident that they will inspire one another and inspire changing neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome.
All right. Thank you. Keep track of here. Yeah, so that's as simple, but that's to remind us, right? So we don't forget. Okay. Now, let's move into the main part of the session today, the theme. Now, every month you have a theme. So every chapter will have a vendor that rips and interprets the theme. This month it's Competencia. It was chosen by the Santiago chapter in Chile. And this is one of those sections that has multiple definitions. So it can be competition, which most people think is, but it's also competency. So it's like, what are you equipped to compete on, right? And how do you build a competency? It's an interesting word in that regard. And they have their interpretation of it from Santiago, but the fun part is seeing all the speakers and all the chapters interpret in their own way. So this month, we're going to bring up our speaker and also our co-host, Erica, to join a conversation with Anna. Here we go. So come on up. There you go.
Hello?
Hello?
A little bit different this month, and Anna's gonna introduce herself, tell us a little bit about who she is, where her creativity lies, and then we're gonna have a little conversation about social media.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good. I'm so excited to be here. A little nervous, but I'm excited. I know we've never had a dance teacher here before, right? So my name is Anna. I own a dance company called Almada Dance, and I've been teaching for 4 years. I'm originally from New York. I've been living here 4 years now, and I was in Miami for a little bit before this, like every New Yorker goes. But I grew up in New York my whole life. And, I bring a part of that here with me in the desert. And it's just been really cool to see how it's been unfolding. I grew up dancing. I grew up doing ballet, jazz, contemporary, a lot of the classical forms. But I grew up in a really toxic environment, toxic colleagues, toxic dancers, toxic teachers projecting their own insecurities, which is really common in the dance world. And then I moved to Miami. I danced a little bit, but I did like dance fitness because I had some trauma. And I'm like, I'm going to try this. It's less pressure. Had a lot of fun with it. And then I moved here, joined the studio. It was toxic, but gave me the opportunity to teach. So I took it and I ran with it. And eventually I left that space and created my own space. And my focus is on community. My focus is on beginner-friendly classes, classes that are accessible and a place where you can feel like you are capable. That's super important to me. And yeah, that's like my little spiel about what I'm doing, what I'm trying to create here in Phoenix. And it's been a little over a year of my actual company, Almada Dance. I've been teaching for 4.
Thank you. All right, so our theme this morning is competencia.
Short, hold on.
So I put together some questions and I shared them with Anna last night, and she was like, "Okay, I've looked them over, but I'm not going." Oh, you didn't know it was one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And she was like, "I'm going to look at these, but I'm not going to try and script an answer for everyone. But there's like a lot of questions, so we'll just kind of like see where things go." So let's start with just like when you hear the word competition, what comes to mind?
I would say before I do, I want to explain why I did that. I was reading the questions and I just don't like things that feel inauthentic. I feel like I spent my whole life trying to fit in a box and I'm just tired of it. I'm 28, I know I'm young still, but I'm really trying to live a life of intensity. So I thought if I come here and I just read off like my head and be able to speak from the soul, I think it would feel more authentic to what I'm trying to create here. So competition. When we first spoke about the theme, the first thing that came to mind is just my whole experience with dancing, with trying to create a life for myself with dance and a career out of it. I would say that competition is really prevalent in the dance world. It's not just competition between you and yourself, but competition between you and your other fellow colleagues, people that you dance with. And it's fostered in such a toxic way. The competition is not in a sense of collaboration and inspiration and how can this person inspire me to be a better dancer, but how can I compete with this person because I need to be higher than them. I need to get over on them so that I can get a solo or I can get more attention from the teacher. So when this first came up and we were talking about the word competition, I was like, I feel like I could talk a lot about this because I've seen competition in negative ways where it's hurt me and hurt the people around me because, it fosters a sense of distrust in yourself and comparison. And also it can create great things because it can incentivize you to work harder as well. So I think it's just how you look at it and your perspective with it. And I'm a big person on reframing. And because I think that there's a lot of power in the way that we look at things and how we choose to look at it. So if we reframe it, I think that there's a lot of power behind competition, but used in a positive way.
When you think of a time when losing
in a competition or against a solo opportunity or something like that, just not being the best actually what ended up in working in your favor, where it made you better or it helped you learn something invaluable.
That makes me think at my previous studio, there was a lot of competition that was harbored between me and the other teachers because a lot of us were student teachers. So we were students first, and a few of us were like, we want to teach. And because of that, and because of, I think that when you see somebody shine, it can trigger a lot of your own insecurities. And I think we're human. I like to remind my students of this all the time. We're going to feel envy, you're going to feel jealousy, you're going to feel sad, you're going to feel mad. Those are all human emotions. And I think that it's normal to feel feelings of competition. I think that that's what keeps us alive, literally and figuratively. We need to have a sense of competition. But it just makes me think of the competition that was harbored there, and a lot of the times where there was a lot of favoritism and competition in the sense of, well, this person does this, and I'm going to let them take the job or let them teach. And a lot of the times where I wasn't picked, but not because of my skill, it was because of politics and, I would say politics is the best word, studio politics and favoritism. And honestly, it just inspired me to leave eventually and do my own thing and then create communities that don't have that. Because I just don't feel like you can grow your best. I know we're talking about dance, but forget about dance for a moment. Erase the dancing. Any community or space where there's that competitive environment, there's only so much that you can grow. I think that, again, a little bit is okay, but when it's just constant competitiveness, then it's hard for you to continue to grow and feel like you can actually accomplish something without constantly feeling compared.
Tell us a little bit about what good competition can look like, can feel like, especially with a medium like dance. It's very sensorial, and you're in your body. So how does good competition feel like in your body, and how does bad competition feel?
I would say the example I typically do in my classes is I talk about these feelings that come up. You're gonna feel you're gonna see somebody and they're gonna dance super well, and you're gonna feel those. I wish I could dance like that. I would like to say when those feelings come up, it gives you an opportunity to move through them. Talking is great. I mean, this is great what we're doing, but actually being able to move through it, somatic therapy, I think that dance is a therapy, and being able to move through it is important. I would say good competition, the feeling and the thoughts I encourage my students to have is don't look at it as competition, look at it as inspiration. So when you see someone that's better than you, first, they might just have been dancing longer, they might have been doing this thing longer than you, but look at it as inspiration and to give you incentive to find your light, to find your strength, because my strength is not going to be yours is not going to be mine, and that goes for everything, not just dancing. I would say bad competition would look like beating yourself up, oh my god, I'm not this, and that deprecation, that self-deprecation, and just not allowing yourself to be okay with where you're at. I think that there's power in that, and recognizing where you're at and not constantly comparing yourself to others. So it can be good, but also can be detrimental if you use it and then now you're oh, well, I give up because I can't be that. You know what I mean?
You used a phrase that I'm not familiar with, somatic therapy. Can you define that for us? What is somatic therapy?
So somatic therapy, I would say, I'm not a somatic therapist, but somatic therapy, to the words that I can use, is therapy through movement. It's moving through feelings, moving through anger, moving through happiness. I like saying this in classes. Animals do this naturally. In the wild, when they're stressed out and they're not time, they shake. Animals do this in the wild, but adults we're taught to sit nice, especially women. We're taught to sit pretty, don't take up too much space, don't do too much. If not, it's going to be an issue. But animals are wild. They're shaking, they're taking it all out, and then they're able to move on. But it feels so good to just shake. I actually do that in every class. When we warm up, I have a shake and I have them open their mouths and just let out like noises. And it just feels so good. It feels silly, but it feels really good to like let that out. So I would say somatic therapy is just allowing yourself to move through emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness. It's like when you have that feeling when you're like grieving, you just want to like scream and like punch something and scream into a pillow. It's because we need to expel that, and a lot of times we hold that. And I think more often than not, most people tend to hold on to their pain and their feelings and not move through it. So that's why I think dance is so powerful.
How many people in this room have a physical outlet that you do on a regular basis? All right. How many folks in this room spend most of their day sitting behind a computer? Would you be willing to lead us in a little somatic therapy in this moment right now?
Yeah. Okay, you have to be willing to, and I tell my students this, you have to be willing to feel weird, to look weird, and not care what anyone's gonna say about you. Everybody is focused on themselves, I promise you. It's like the same thing when you go to the gym. I mean, unless you're doing something like absolutely outrageous and your butt aching in the gym, then yeah, people are probably gonna look at you and be like, what are they doing? But everybody's in their own heads. Everybody's literally in their own heads. So we're all gonna get up. And again, this might be the first time you've done something like this. I think there's a lot of power in just like moving. Let's just start with moving our head side to side. Nice. Do some gentle circles. Reverse direction. Nice. Let's roll the shoulder blades back, squeezing them, bending your knees. Nice. Nice cracks. I always say the knees always go like crack, crack, pop, pop. Roll them forward. Okay, awesome. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth, let it out, make a noise. Let's try a few more of those. Let it out. Again, in, let it out. Shake it out. Shake, shake. Maybe you can jump around a little bit. I'm wearing a mic, so I can't. But jump, jump, jump. Okay, now open your mouth and just let some noise out. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Yes. Okay. Nice. Okay, a few things. One, I'm seeing lots of smiles. You can't help it. It feels so good to move your body in a friendly way. I'm also seeing a lot of restraint. Maybe you've never done this before. Maybe your brain's telling you, we grow up with these parents, environment, society that tells us that certain things are okay, certain things are not, and some of it is for safety, right? But I just want you might be kind of like unsure. You need to move through it. The only way is through it. So let's try that again. I just want you to jump, shake it out, let your feet escape the floor. Let it escape the floor. Just shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Open your mouth, make some noise, make some noise. Yes. Awesome. Yay. Nice. That's what I would do in class, yeah. And then we would also like dance too. But I just do that as an icebreaker because again, you go into dance class. Has anybody here taken a dance class before? Ooh, fun. Okay. In a dance class, a lot of things come up, and I think that there's parallels to everything in life. You start a new job, you start comparing yourself, or you start having like imposter syndrome, or a new relationship, or there's parallels to everything. And in a dance class, you go in wondering, am I enough? Can I do this? Am I capable? You compare yourself, and you compare yourself to other people and to your own self. And I always warn my students and let them know you're gonna have those feelings, but the only way is through it. You can't like half do it. You're not gonna be able to reach your potential if you're half doing anything, not just dancing, but anything in life. You gotta just go for it. Yeah.
Thanks so much. How do you guys feel doing that? Like, it's a little goofy, but also comfortable, like more comfortable with the neighbors now that you all
Jiggled it out. Yeah.
So you teach my understanding is two main types of dance.
I teach
salsa?
a Latin dance,
A Latin
so
dance.
salsa and bachata,
Okay.
and then I also teach heels classes as well.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about competition in each of those. So like
Ooh, yeah.
thinking through the two different styles.
Yeah.
Salsa is a Latin dance, very partner
Yes.
oriented. And heels is very solo.
Yeah,
focused.
sensual embodiment. Yeah. I love the two styles and I love them for different reasons. So Latin style, salsa bachata, is partner based. And with partner based classes, there's a lot of trust that needs to happen. And a lot of the times, what I tend to see is a sense of competition when it comes to like your partner, or what I see really commonly in the community, and not just in Phoenix, but everywhere in the world, and trying to make a difference. And there's some instructors that just believe in different things. I mean, every environment has their bad stuff and bad apples and whatnot. I would say that it's really common that leads are taught that they need to be flashy. They need to do the really cool moves and the spins and dipping and the things and being all crazy for the camera. But then you're dancing with a human being that's connected to you and they're just like feeling like a rag doll. So I always encourage my students and my leads, you are dancing collaboratively with your partner. You're having a conversation with your partner. You're not dancing at your partner. So in terms of competition, I think a lot of times leads seem to be in competition with each other. Like who can, I can spin my partner more, or I can do more of my partner, or I can be more flashy. But then they're forgetting the person and the human being that's like literally holding their hands. And I just see it really common. So what I try to do in my classes is invite the conversation aspect and you're dancing with the person. And I've been seeing so many beautiful results from it. People having so much more trust in their dancing and more fun and more freedom. So much more freedom in their expression. For heels, the heels classes are typically women-based. They are focused on empowerment, tapping into your femininity, tapping into your sensuality, not sexuality, but sensuality. And honestly, they're both scary for different reasons. I would say partner work is scary because you're like even closer than me and Erica are to each other. We're holding hands, we're touching each other, and I think that comes with its own things. The heels, you're putting on a pair of heels, you're putting on a sexy outfit, and you're dancing in a room with a bunch of other sexy people. And it's scary. You're moving your bodies in ways you might have never moved before. And I would say the biggest thing in heels is the competition is like with the one that's in the mirror, yourself, and also the people that are around you. Because there's literally mirrors in the dance video. I know we talk about figurative mirrors a lot, but there's literal mirrors. And I tell my students, I'm like, this is hard. There's like mirrors everywhere. You can't escape yourself. Like it's scary being in a room with mirrors and having to face yourself. We face ourselves figuratively, or I hope we do. Not always. We tend to run away from that. But from an actual physical mirror, you can't run away from that. So I would say in heels, the competition arises from just like beating yourself up in the class, worried about doing things correctly, comparing yourselves to people that have been dancing longer in the room is really common. So I try to do my best to just remind people you're just try to be inspired by each other, and that takes practice. I like to say in my classes a lot, confidence is not something that you magically become; it's something you practice. So I'm always encouraging them to just practice. Just take practice.
Does confidence reduce our need to be competitive, or does competition build confidence?
I like that. I feel like that brings me back to what I said in the beginning about how there could be good for both. I think that there's also different ways to put the word confidence, right? Like confidence in what? Confidence in one's ability, confident to do the scary things like shake in a room with strangers and make some weird noises. So I think like confidence can look like so many different ways. So I would say in the sense of a dance class, like what I do, the confidence to just show up in the room, I think still you're saying confidence when it comes to competition?
Yeah. So I'll again just confidence, being confident,
Yeah.
reduce the need to be competitive? Or does competing bring in confidence? Like, is there, by looking to other people, by being inspired, or going into a healthy competition,
Yeah.
can that bring about confidence?
I think so. I think there is healthy competition in class because, again, being inspired, that is the healthy competition. So with the healthy competition, I think that it can inspire you to create confidence, and that can be confidence building because you're doing the scary thing by allowing yourself to like be compared. You know what I mean?
And so that it can ladder up. You can keep on, like, sometimes the competition can build your confidence to help you compete better, to then build your confidence to layer on that way.
Yeah, I think that your mindset matters because if you go into it and you're looking at it in a negative way, then I think it can be really easy to just berate yourself instead of this is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to step up to the plate. So I think it's how you look at it too. I think matters a lot.
Creativity. All of us here are at an event called Creative Mornings because we see ourselves as a creative person, or we aspire to be a creative person, or connect with people who are creative. It often means that we make things before we know whether they'll be good. And dance, learning a new dance routine asks us to move before we feel comfortable. We all did that today. You asked us to move before we felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you see a connection between maybe those of us who may have creative outlets not in dance? Do you see a connection? Can you speak on that in some ways?
Basically being able to do the thing before you know if it's going to work or not.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally can. I've actually been doing singing lessons recently. My singing coach is actually here. She's also a student of mine. And I've been doing that because I'm a big believer in practice what I preach. I'm telling my students, I just told all of you to do the scary things. And who am I to like not do the scary things too? So me being here is a part of that, doing the singing lessons. There's been times where we're like working on a note and I'm like, and I'm literally feeling a blockage. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm scared. And it's crazy to think that something like moving your body or protecting your voice can be so scary. I mean, public speaking, they've done studies. People say it's like the number one fear. They'd rather die than speak in front of people. So I would say, yeah, I mean, you have to just do the thing before you know if it's going to work. I'm currently in a phase where I'm looking to open up a studio, which is like my next big step. And it's terrifying. It's so scary. And I don't know if it's going to work. But if you don't do it, then you'll never know if it's going to work. So I would not be sitting here if I didn't do the things, if I didn't just go for it. I had no idea what it was going to look like. Right before I started at the studio I'm at now, I lost my job because I've been babysitting. I've always done odd jobs. I'm from New York, so we usually work like 3 jobs at a time. I don't encourage it though. I'm trying to find balance. But I would like babysit, I would clean houses, I would bartend, I would also go into nursing school. I was doing so much at the same time. And while building my dance business, I've been babysitting and odd jobs and Ubering and DoorDashing and doing everything I can to like keep things working. But I just wouldn't be where I am. I lost my job. I got kicked out of the studio because of politics, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I lost my housing. I wasn't like homeless or anything. It's just my roommate was like, "You gotta go. You got 30 days," because she's moving. I was like, "Oh, okay." But that opened the door for where I'm at now, and it's been a year of sold out classes that I wasn't having because when I first started teaching, there was like nobody there. It took time to build. I'm sure like Creative Mornings was just an idea, and then came this, and now all of you are here. So I think there's a lot of power in doing the thing without knowing if it's going to work. And I just feel like you have so many opportunities to practice that. I practice that in my dance classes all the time. I've been practicing that with singing. I've been practicing that by coming here. You know, I could have been like, actually, no, I don't want to go anymore. Like, I wouldn't have done that. But, you know, I feel like there's power behind that and just doing the scary thing. I'm doing it anyway.
What do you think that young Anna what would you say to young Anna about competition that you have learned through hard work, trials?
Yeah.
Would you, if she were here, little 5-year-old Anna with ringlets and everything?
Yeah. I get emotional thinking about her. She went through a lot and dealt with a lot. I would hug her first. And I would just encourage her. There's gonna be competition, girl. There's gonna be women that are stacked against you, but you're gonna learn and you're gonna find your woman. You're gonna find your community. You're gonna find your people. Like, don't give up. And when you feel competition, try to reframe it and look at it as a way to inspire you to do better. And don't take it personal when people are projecting their own insecurities on you. Because I think that there's also a sense of competition, the sense of somebody projecting their own insecurity on you that can cultivate and harbor competition. That's so different than just like healthy competition in like a dance class. So I would say for that, remind her like just keep going and know that it's not personal, it's their own shit. Sorry, I curse a lot. I was trying so hard, I'm like, I'm not gonna curse today.
So I have one more question for you, and then we're going to open up the floor. So if you guys have questions, be thinking about them. So what is one message about competition that you would like to leave to a room full of creative people? What would you hope that people would get from the conversation today?
Competition is gonna happen. And I think that it provides a really beautiful mirror to see where you have room to grow. And you can look at it as an inspiration to continue to like to step up to the plate, but don't let it get so serious where you take the fun out of things. I like to say life is never that serious. Like we're here, we're gone tomorrow. So enjoy it while you're here. And I feel grateful that I'm learning this as a young woman so I can enjoy my youth. I've had a lot of my friends were older and they would tell me like, girl, live your youth, be happy, do your thing. So I feel really grateful that my role models have taught me these lessons. So me being probably the youngest one here, I'm gonna give you guys advice. I would say just like reframe everything that you thought was like serving you. Take a moment to think about it. What's serving me? What's helping me in my creative field, whatever it is that you're doing, and find a way to use the competition in a sense of inspiration, but not to bring yourself down or think that it's not possible for you. I like to say this when my students, I can tell when they're beating themselves up. If you're looking at someone and you're like finding that you're competing yourself with them, look at it as, man, if they did it, I can do it too.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Okay, the dancer in the group.
I knew you were a dancer. I could tell by the way you're shaking. You were just going for it.
Yes, I actually wasn't even supposed to be back.
Welcome.
And I'm back, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I made this one. But I love Souls of the Chata.
Ooh.
Absolute fave. But I wanted to ask your opinion on what I learned from actually doing ballroom teachers was looking at it like a language. And I know you kind of talked about that a little bit. Yeah, because for me, especially with like partner dancing, and that communication, and you did mention that, but I like to think of it as language, like you're speaking a language, and are you both fluent? Are you not? Whoever is more fluent needs that emotional intelligence to help the others. How do you feel about that
what
analogy?
you're saying. Okay, so I always say in my classes, I talk about when we're doing partner work. Right now, I'm teaching them letters.
Okay.
So I do my classes a little differently. I don't teach combinational. I teach concepts and like puzzle pieces or letters. And just like language, if I wanted to tell you a story, the way I'm able to sit here and like have a conversation that you can understand, I had to learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way through Z. And then I had to learn grammar. And then I had to learn how to put words together in a way that makes sense. It's kind of like you have to be a baby, then be a toddler, make no sense when you're talking, and then become a teenager and then an adult. So I use the same thing in my salsa classes. I teach them letters, And then I have them practice with the few letters I gave them, making little words and getting comfortable with that. So their conversations in the beginning are very like, I go to gym, I go to park, and then Duolingo style. And then eventually with more repetition, because I don't believe in giving you a story to regurgitate, because then what if this person doesn't understand that story? So I believe in giving you tools. It's like that saying, you teach a man to fish and eat for life, and you just give him fish, he's just gonna eat that day. So I try to teach words and vocabulary so that way they can continue to build a story, and then now they can have a story with everyone they dance with. So it's a style I do.
Yeah, I love that. That takes it even further. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for asking.
All right, Lois.
Hi, Lois.
Hi. How do you feel about judges whom you feel did not do a good job of judging?
I don't feel that I'm the best one to talk on that. I didn't do dance competitions because I don't resonate with it. The classes I do are more open classes, beginner friendly. I do dance at an advanced level, but I've never done competition because it never spoke to me. I didn't like the idea of that because I've heard of that. Unfair judges that favoritism, and also I had so much of that growing up in ballet and jazz and just so much within just a little class. I was like, oh, I can't do competition. So I just never did it. Not because I can't, I just chose not to. Oh, it made me feel horrible. Yeah. Because then, you're comparing and then you're thinking, I can't do it, and beating yourself up for sure. Yeah. So that's why I never did dance competitions. And I don't do it with my students. I mean, if they want to, they can find another coach for that. But I don't know, who knows? You never know what's going to happen in 5 years. I mean, we plan for it, but you never know what's going to happen in 5 years. I would not imagine I was teaching dance just 5 years ago. I was like, no, I can never do that. And now I'm doing it full time. It's my full time job now. So yeah.
One more question.
Right.
Diana.
Hey, Adriana.
Hey, so when I was younger, I did dance, and I felt like it was sometimes a pretty toxic environment. I was wondering what advice you had for others, like trying to heal their inner artist and get back into dance and stuff like that.
Yes, I would find a teacher that you trust. Find a space that you can trust. I'm not going to just be like, come to my class, but come to my class. But before the class, I would maybe start with some self-exploration. Do it in your room, and if your house is not a safe space, find a safe space, even if you have to rent a yoga studio for like an hour. And put on music, put on your headphones, and just dance. And don't think about like when we were shaking, we were thinking. I mean, we might have been thinking, but just start to move to your favorite song and move your body. And that's something called like ecstatic dance, where you're just like moving. You're not really like doing choreography based. It's gonna look weird, but you just gotta move through it. I think that could be a great way to start silencing that inner critic. And I always say this in class, that inner critic is always like there. You just learn to turn on the volume. I don't think that it ever like fully goes away. You just get better at handling it. Take a seat over there. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody, let's give Anna a round of applause. And she's got some business cards up front. So if you're interested in taking a class with her, grab a card, check out our website. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I hope you try a dance class. I promise it's beginner friendly. Everyone's welcome, all bodies, all orientations, all ages. I have a 75-year-old student. He dances with me 4 times a week. So all ages are welcome. All ages. Thank you so much. Awesome.
Yeah, right. We'll work. Okay, just a few more things to conclude today. We have a little bit of time to do our 30-second spotlight. So this is our live action classifieds where the community can share something or request something from the room. So this works for jobs, if you have a job offer or if you're looking for work, if you have a project, if you need recruits, if you have an exhibition, these type of things, if you need a couch, if you have kittens jumping over your fence in your backyard, this is a chance to share it. So if you have something in mind, I would say come up right here and we'll hand you the mic. If you have an event, I would say let the miscellaneous requests go first, and we have the events coming up in just a minute. A lot of people have events. Okay, Stephanie, yeah. So introduce yourself and say what's going on. And do we have anyone taking notes? Before you leave, definitely double check with us if there's a website or anything like that.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Flores. I have a background in film production. I started out here, moved to LA. Now that I'm back, sorry. I am actually looking for people that know EPK. EPK stands for Electronic Press Kit.
Have a after hours art at their city hall. And next week, I'm doing a lecture about public art and the art of placemaking. Would if any of you all wanted to take the drive out there and come by, and we could always go out for a drink afterwards. So I'm going to have the information, make sure it gets on that thing.
All right, thanks a lot. Oh, hey, back for more.
Oh.
Both, you're already mic'd up. So
Okay.
Try both.
Both at the same time. I'm looking if anybody knows anyone that does flooring or can do mirrors because of my new studio. So figure I'd ask. I was like, I don't know if I have anything, but if anybody knows anyone that does flooring or mirror work, please let me know. Thank you. Or let somebody know. How does this work?
We will put your email in the newsletter, and then people can directly click on it. Yeah. And so that is that a sprung flooring, or are you talking about Marley, or?
I would look at the options, maybe laminate, maybe sprung.
Okay. Laminate, sprung flooring. Flooring, when you're from New York and the word dance is anywhere nearby, flooring is like a whole science. So are we talking about like you're just out in the middle of Fifth Avenue and it's just asphalt? Or is it like, whatever it is, the New York City Ballet, they have like a flooring PhD guy, like, I don't know about literally, but designing all this idea that humidity and Young's modulus. Have you ever heard of Young's modulus? Any engineers? Okay, never mind. It has to do with like bouncing and not tearing your tendons and stuff. Like, it's a whole thing. Okay, was there any other additional ones? Events related? Yep, you got an event? Okay. Oh, you know what? Can I do our last one and then we go to events? Okay. Okay. So we have a special spotlight of our own as a chapter, and that is to become a sponsor. So this, like I said, is a volunteer thing, but also the sponsors help the thing moving. I mentioned them at the beginning, but we have some specific requests coming up. So in September, we are looking to offset about $150 for a venue there. Hello, Lincoln. Is that still accurate? Okay. I should have checked before. And the ongoing breakfast and coffee sponsorships that we are trying to get folks who are appreciative of what we do to sort of join up, and at the $75 level to sustain us each month. That is a huge benefit to this organization. And I think depending on the size and scope of your organization, drop in a bucket. So you get your name on multiple places. Chris is spearheading that, right? So come talk to us if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, especially as an enterprise, as an organization. And the way to talk to us, Phoenix at Creative Mornings, or just grab one of us. Okay, coming up around town. Now we can bring in the folks where we talk about our own events coming up.
Hi, everybody. I'm
record with microphones, so
That's
tell me
just
what
like,
to do
just like,
with
just like
this.
that. So first, Billy, you can hear your face like that.
Both of them.
Yep.
Can you hear me? Hi, I'm Google. And does everyone agree that music is also an art form?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm letting you know about music that you can attend for mostly free in July and August and some September. Valley Metro is partnering with Phoenix Symphony and the Herd to do music on the rails, on the light rail. It happened the first time last Thursday. John and I were on the news. It's happening today between 5 and 7, and next week on the 30th between 5 and 7. So one flyer talks about the Valley Metro, music on the rails, and the other one is Phoenix Symphony pop-ups at the Phoenix Art Museum. Again, mostly free. So I just love music and I love the fact that Phoenix is doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing and for having a flyer. That's very helpful.
I have to tell you, the flyers are not particularly professional. I had multiple flyers. I cut and pasted so I could copy one page.
Okay.
So it's not the Valley Metro flyers.
That was just an apology for the flyers. Don't sweat it. We know about DIY ethos over here. Okay. All right. So a couple of bigger events that have their own images. Phoenix Design Week, Orbit is the theme for this year. This is coming up in the fall. The conference itself is Friday and Saturday, October 23rd, 24th, and a week of events to follow all around town from the 26th through the 30th. And that actually includes our Creative Mornings event on Friday morning, the 30th. All right. So this is around the corner, but it's not too late to sign up, not too early to sign up. It might be too late for the early bird, all right? Corey's not here. This, I think, ran out July 19th, but I think the way they did it was not by date, but by number of early birds. So there might still be early birds available. There's also group pricing. So if you work at an organization that wants to send 5 or 6 people to Phoenix Design Week, you can sign up as a cluster and save a bit of money that way. And the website, PHXDW, which stands for Phoenix Design Week. Okay, so we appreciate them as a sponsor and a collaborator. And we also have another conference coming up, WordCamp. And to speak more about this, I'll bring up one of the local sponsors and champions, our own Raquel.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, so a lot of you might remember WordCamp Phoenix, which is still a thing, but this is actually WordCamp US, which changes its host city usually every 2 years. And this year they're coming to Phoenix, yes, in August. And yes, when we found out, we looked at them like, are you for real? Have you been here? But regardless, it's happening. So they're really trying to attract locals because it is in August in Phoenix. So I actually have a code for a free ticket. It's actually $100 for 4 days. You get a meal every single day. So it's like it pays for itself. But regardless, the code is Creative Mornings. All one word, lowercase, and you get to go for free. Even if you can't go all the days, go one day. Matt Mullen will be there, who's the creative podcast. You can hear about any of the drama lately. If you want to go talk to him, you can. And if you want to know more about that and you know what I'm talking about, come up to me afterward. But regardless, AI is still, I mean, yes, it's changing the landscape, but open source is still a thing and still very, very, very important if anyone understands it and knows the danger of data and privacy. So we want to make sure that we continue to protect our data. And if you care about that, WordCamp US would be a really good event. So Creative Mornings. I've got flyers if anybody wants to need something tactical as well. All right, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Now, is that the drama relating to Hugging Face, or is that the drama relating to Squarespace? Neither. Oh, see, I don't even design websites anymore, but I just watch the system crumble. I'm like, 40,000 UX designers laid off from Microsoft. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Anyway. Next meeting for our organization, Creative Mornings, will be next month. It's Nicole Underwood, our own Nicole Underwood. She's not here today. I have her photo. She played the piano a few weeks ago. Were you there for that? So Nicole is part of our community, and she'll be speaking on the global theme Nakla, which is an Arabic word meaning palm. And this was chosen by the Saudi Arabia chapters. Hang on, I forget which city. Khobar. Anyone been there? You've been to Khobar? Wow, look at that. We have a number of chapters in Saudi Arabia. I think they have Riyadh, and I think they also have, oh geez, don't quiz me on this. Jeddah. At least one more. And that's going to be August 28th at Chic Artistry Studio, which is on Camelback. McDowell, the next cross street, that kind of thing. That's coming up August 28th. Watch your inbox for the sign up message, which will probably go out in August 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. Okay. And don't forget about the newsletter, the Phoenix chapter newsletter. You are not on it by default. You have to join the Phoenix newsletter. So we have the European rules where we respect your inbox. We don't sign you up for things. The good news is it's easy to sign up. It's at the bottom of CreativeMornings.com. Every page has a newsletter link, and you can choose what chapter. So I mentioned, does the laser work? No, that's good. You could choose Tucson. You could choose Las Vegas, wherever you spend time. We don't have a Flagstaff chapter. And your homework, as always, is to bring a friend and make a friend. All right. And with that, we're going to do our final thing, which is to take a group photo. So I'd love for you all to come up kind of between the monitors here. We can move this table and we can get a group photo, and Daniel could be somewhere around there. All right. Thanks a lot. These microphones. Okay.